Welcome to Rom Wills, Money Matters. Build a community around your business. And that's if you can. It's best if, it works if you have maybe some knowledge to impart, which is basically what I do. Or it works if you have maybe something like a gym or, gym, health club. Technically, those are different things. It works in many occasions if you have a store, something like that. That's a very key thing. I remember when I was working in a gym when one of the assistant managers said that about the gym. She said it's a community. And I thought about that because I thought about a gym I had worked at previously. And you know what? It was a small gym and we didn't have the same amenities or even the same quality equipment as gyms that were within walking distance of our place. Yet we always did great business. But the thing was, it was a community. Like when people came in, they didn't have to show us a card, badge, tell us their name. As soon as they walked through the door, we were putting their name into the computer. And we were always friendly with them. And the reason why, it was a community. Now, like I said, for that first gym, we didn't use the term. But the second gym, the assistant manager pointed that out. And I always thought about that for anything. Like with what I do now, whether it's on YouTube or one of my other sites, the main thing, there's a community of people. Like one of my sites especially, that's a community right there. You have people there, they interact. They interact without me being present or saying anything. And that's important. And, it could be for anything. Like if you have a bookstore, say you have a bookstore. I remember a bookstore that I used to sell my books at, a couple of bookstores, and there was a community in there. Sometimes people come in there and talk. A barbershop or a hair salon, those are communities. A good barbershop, people just don't come in there and sit there, get their hair cut and leave. People get in there and talk, and they talk about everything. People see you and everything. And that's the thing. See, what a community does, if you can build a community around your business, and, let's just be real. Let me just say this. It's tough for some businesses. It's not going to happen for every business. For example, if you're a master plumber, you have a plumbing business, you got customers, but it's not a community. See, the best community is something where people can interact with each other. It's a place where people can see each other. It could be a little small store where, after a while you see the same people. Definitely gyms, yoga studios. It's very important. Like I remember this one gym that was a part of the chain I was working for. And they had the manager of the gym would just sit back. And basically the people who were pulling people in were like the group exercise instructors and the sales managers. And people were coming in there because they had a friend there. See, when you create a community, one of the things people need, they need what's called a third space to interact with people. Like the first space is home. The second space is work, but they need that third space to interact with people, and people look for that. Indeed, any business, they would be good to always, especially if it's a store or something, to do stuff where they can bring people together. And indeed, even if it's a person coming into the store, like customer service is great. Customer service is great, and that's an important thing. See, when you have a community, what that does is it keeps you in business, just on a cold-blooded business level. Like, let me use the bookstore, for example. One of the bookstores, I remember the owner said, you just need 100 people to buy something every month. And it might not seem a lot, but if you think about it, for what he had to pay and everything, and how much somebody would spend on average a month on books and maybe other stuff, especially some, I've known of a lot of bookstores, they have books, but maybe they'll have, there's some bookstores, they might have a little bit extra. They might have like some food in there. They might have products like incense or oils or something like that, soaps. There's one bookstore I'm familiar with. They got a clothing section. When you have that, or a restaurant, like I remember this vegan restaurant, I knew the owner very well, and I remember someone had worked there and said, yeah, everybody comes in here. Any place where people can gather, it builds a community. The thing is, it brings in steady money. It brings in steady money, because when you have that community and you manage it right, you don't have to worry. It's steady for you. I mean, the only place you have to go, the only thing you really have to do is maintain that community, maintain the spot, bring in new stuff, have people come in there, they see each other, boom. And sometimes it could be as simple as they just, the people there who work there give such great customer service that people keep coming in. See, people need contact with each other. They need contact. They need to talk with people as best as possible. Now, like I said, depending on the business, some businesses is not conducive. Like you can't really create a community around some type of like a law firm or a accounting firm or something like that. Maybe within, and maybe in the future I'll talk about like your work culture and stuff. But the community, if you have the business that can do this, creating it with the people it serves. Because once you create that community, like I said, they keep it in there, and it depending on how much they spend in there on a regular basis, it can actually build your business. It keeps some money coming in. It's steady, and then you maintain that. Then you could probably expand. You can bring in new things. And one thing about a community too, they are free advertising. One of the best advertising for any business is word of mouth. Now, say you have the type of business, okay, like say a bookstore / cafe. And you start out with a few people, but those people keep telling other people. And they say, oh, yeah, you got to check this out. All of a sudden, it's crowded in there. It's crowded in there. Indeed, at some point, I'm going to open a bookstore. I don't know when. It could be 30 years from now. Because my vision has always been to spend my last days in a bookstore just dispensing wisdom. And the way I see it, it'll probably be a community, people coming in there and talking, but that's how I would run it. But it would keep me in business and give me something to do. But build a community around your business. If you can, as best as possible. Now, if you can't, don't worry about it. You got to do what you got to do. But if you look at your business and say to yourself, can I build a community around this? Like something that can bring in a group, a group of people who not only interact with me, but interact with each other. And trust me, you can build that up. And the best way to build that up ultimately, and even just in business period, is just great customer service. Boom. You get something that is sustainable. Indeed, like even with the gym I go to, when they had to close down because of the lockdowns, there was enough of a community there that people still, even though they couldn't use a gym, still sent in their money, still kept it up. They still supported it. So anyway, I want y'all to think about that, and let's go make that money.